What are you doing here, Saolos? I thought I told you to...
I thought he might be able to help.
The Sungtafi have learned much of demon kind over the years, including knowledge of demonic physiology, for lack of a better word. Very useful for interrogation.
Fine. But I'm not gonna watch.
It's only a demon.
I know. And I hope Saolos gives him the worst kind of hell this side of eternity before he kills him. But it wasn't a demon 6 months ago.
I'm gonna go with him. Are you okay here alone?
It is my preference.
All right. We'll be in the think tank after you're done here.
Have there been any other? Because those are the two that I kind of know of that where you've talked about like, in terms of either film or TV.
Yeah, I mean,
that you've
I've
been
done
involved
some-
in something that's sci-fi, fantasy, or
I've
horror.
done some
or whatever.
independent films, but none of those were sci-fi, and then
Okay.
I've done a good amount of TV, but none of it's really sci-fi. I mean, the closest thing would be Criminal Minds, which was like a kind of horror. Because even the episode I did was horror. It was very Saw-esque.
Okay, yeah. Have you seen any of those movies?
No, but I know the concept.
First one's
at least of the
great.
first. I know the concept of the first one.
First one's great.
And so Criminal Minds for a network show can get pretty dark.
Oh yeah, I don't watch it.
I don't either, but I watched my episode.
That's right. That's right.
You better believe it. So yeah, I've done Criminal Minds and Lie to Me and the Ghost Whisperer, but that's not really.
I'm trying to remember. Is that
That's not real horror.
Is that
it?
show still running? Because you
No,
mentioned
no.
it the other day.
I did it. I think I did an episode right before they shut it down.
Okay.
In the 5th season and towards the end of it. Yeah, Lie to Me, I did that. That's not really horror.
Okay.
That's just suspense.
Okay. Well, you got to get out there, man, and do some more laser gun shows.
It'd be fun. I would love to do. Although for whatever reason, my wheelhouse is shows that are like that you'll see on FX or AMC. Like so, they're like I've been on Justified.
Are they?
They're it's the Breaking Bad.
Do you ever hear about any? Speaking of AMC, do you ever hear about any auditions or anything for The Walking Dead?
Yeah,
That's what I want to see you on. I want to see you in The Walking Dead.
I've auditioned for The Walking Dead, and I've auditioned for one of the...
That's right. You were just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, I was auditioned for one of the big roles that was originally a guest starring role, and it was guest starring Ark. And
it's the dude who's
Norman
the...
Reedus.
It's... Okay, yeah.
From Boondock Saints. It was
Yeah.
like his sort of cult hit.
Yeah, yeah.
I auditioned for that role,
Yeah.
and I did a good job. I know that. Casting director liked it, but just wasn't what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Namely, probably that they didn't know what my name was.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that kind of role is good for me. It's down the road that's easier for me to play.
Yeah. That's where I want to see you. That's all I'm saying is clear your schedule and make it happen.
Yeah. And you think it'd be easier, It's funny, people back home always say, well, why don't you just get on that show, you should do that show Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
You should be on that,
Oh, is that? You know what? That's a great idea.
Should I? Okay. All right. Let me work on that. I never thought of it.
All right, so coming back to this weekend and what you might remember from Dark Ritual. Well, specifically this project. How did this experience differ from the kind of acting work you're used to doing? I mean, the last time you were here was I think 2007 because Dark Ritual was released in 2008.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you would have been in probably around closer to 2007.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 years ago. So 5 years have passed that you've been doing TV and film stuff. And now, how does this experience differ from the kind of acting work that you've been used to doing for the last 5 years?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, with the TV and film work that I've done, it's so short-lived that there's often not a lot of meat there. So with this, there's a lot more meat. I getting to play a main role in the, a huge supporting role in as a player in that. That's really fun. But it's different. I mean, admittedly, in Dark Ritual, I put a lot more time before coming than I did this time. I just kind of read over it because I knew Saolos and I knew what he was, and so I didn't do a whole lot of. And strangely, it really isn't as satisfying as like the first time because I had put so much effort into it before.
Yeah.
And this time I came in, and I don't think because you get to read it in some ways. It's as long as you know what the character is, you might even get a better read by just going with early instinct and kind of not overworking it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to say it from memory.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get to that point of memorization, and I don't know. To me, there's always a process. Like your initial read on something is sometimes your best, and then it sort of dies in the repetition, and then you get it on, like if you're doing theater or even film or TV, then you get it to that point where you've created the magic again, but it's almost technical at that point.
Was it weird? I remember last time you talked about how you were getting in front of the mic, and I think prior to Dark Ritual, I don't think you'd done much, if any, voiceover stuff.
No, and still haven't done a ton.
And so I remember you commented last time that it's like, wow, there's just a lot of words here, and that's all. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
And there's nothing visual. And you, as a visual actor, are used to kind of playing your subtleties, the relying on maybe more close-ups to pick up the subtleties of what you're doing. Because it's a very subdued kind of style that you use. But there's nothing visual to pick up. Did you adjust to that, or was that weird the whole way through? Or
no, I adjusted. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun, different challenge, and that's and because I did it before, it was I was probably much more ready for it this time around too, and because everything's got to be everything's got to be in the words, and so I mean, I've had scenes in TV where I'll have 5-10 seconds of silence, and that's where all the acting is, and yet in this it's like you would die if people would turn it on. They think something went wrong after 5 seconds of silence. So it'd be like, oh, I think we got to send this back. So yeah, it's a cool. I love different mediums for that reason, and this is a really fun medium because it creates that new challenge, and you have to have it in your voice. And in some ways, you might have to generate it, if that makes sense. Like, it might feel false to some degree, but for the most part, you still have to embody that thing.
Well, I noticed I never mentioned this to you, but like when I'm watching my screen here, I can pick up just a little bit of reflection behind me.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so I would notice that you're a physical. You brought a lot of physicality to it. I would see you doing gestures and stuff like that, or when you were, say, patting someone on the back, I saw you actually put your arm out and do the patting motion and stuff, and really just involve yourself physically, which I think is smart, because, the alternative is just try to figure out, okay, what would my voice sound like if I was doing that? Well, just do it, you bozo. And So now, what was...
Action is something I've learned, because I'm a thinking actor, and that can get you in trouble, and I've learned that action is much better than thinking. So that's one of the lessons I've learned.
What do you mean by that, a thinking actor?
Well, I'm originally like, I started college as a math major, so like I'm in a way feels like the opposite of a creative, like in that way, like a thinker, not a creative in a sense. But I think you can be both, but my approach to acting has always been through that almost like sort of mathematical approach. So it's a deliberate sort of, like you just said, like, how would I do that if I was how would I sound if I was hugging someone? And it's like you said, just do it, bozo. Just go hug someone. And so, like, for me, it's been a journey to get to a place where I'm much more instinctive in that, because my brain wants to compartmentalize it and like make it 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
And in creative stuff, like, that isn't how people.
Yeah.
People don't act predictably. That's what I mean, and that's what drama is all about. Is the unpredictability and the fun moments you catch.
What was you talk about some of the differences between this process and what you're used to? What was some similarities? Some excuse me, some crossover elements that, like your last 5 years of experience in film and TV. It's like, oh, I can easily just apply that here because those things are the same. And as far as the process, was there anything that was the same?
Just trying to find the one thing that is the same is trying to find the reality in the scene, because as much as you're putting on like even getting stabbed or making grunts and things like even that kind of extreme kind of false or fake sort of thing that you're faking.
Yeah.
You want to find something that's real in that. So, thinking about if I got stabbed, what that would be, because we don't always. You don't have to get stabbed to know that it would hurt. And we've all been hurt by
something. Just get stabbed, you bozo.
Right? Yeah. Just get stabbed.
Then you'll do great. Guess that advice can't be across the board.
That's true. How do you play an alcoholic? How do you play a murderer?
That's right.
Just go kill someone, you bozo. So it is to some degree faking it, but because that's what acting is. It's acting. Yeah. But like, you want to ground it in something. So like, I don't know, like find what that is. Yeah. And I think it takes a while for some people. For me, it did. It takes a while to get to that place where you really can get to where you really are comfortable in that skin and just and committing to stuff. And some people are more natural than others, but I think in a lot of ways anyone can learn how to act. But it takes years and years to perfect it. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing those. And this is not just like a bullcrap thing. We're doing an interview, so let's all be nicey and stuff like that. I just happen to be recording it at this moment. But thank you for bringing all of the work and the just all the skill that you've developed over the last 5 years. And prior to that, you bring that all to the table when you come and do this. And I so appreciate having access to all of that and being able to just benefit from your experience. So thank you so much for being a part of this project.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you've done a great. I think I said this last time, but like I'll say it again. I mean, I don't think anytime we see a movie or we listen to an audio drama, we sit down and we hear it for 2 hours and we're involved in it and that, and hopefully it's amazing and the whole thing, and we don't realize how much has gone into this. And so you guys out there listening, I mean, this guy has put in, there's a couple of years worth of work in this. So, and we get to share in the glory coming in and recording and being part of the voices and stuff on it. But yeah, nice work, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The pain is paralyzing, isn't it? Your master trained me well. Did you know the English word for excruciating finds its root in the Latin for cross? Christia's torment was far greater than anything you have ever known. Let's see if we can change that, my little mouse.